All right, number 3. Same thing. We're going to find the possible rational zeros and then find the actual zeros. We have n of x equals 2x to the 4th minus 9x to the 3rd plus 2x squared plus 9x minus 4. All right, constant over leading coefficient. So 4 over 2, we're going to list all the factors of 4, 1 and 4, and then 2 times 2, so just 1, 4, and 2. And then on the bottom, the factors of 2 are 1 and 2. All right, so we'll have a little bit bigger list this time. So positive or negative every time. All of these numbers on top divided by 1. 1, 2, and 4. And then we're going to do all the numbers on top divided by 2. So 1 over 2, leave it in fraction form, 1 over 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1 when you simplify it, and we already have 1, so we don't need to repeat that. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2, and we already have that. So here's my list. So here's our possible zeros list. And then we want to find the actual zeros. And again, I'm going to use the calculator just to speed up the process. We're going to go to y equal. I'm going to clear out what I have. Type in 2x to the 4th minus 9x to the 3rd plus 2x squared plus 9x and then minus 4. I'm going to graph, and it looks like -1. So let me see. -1 looks like it goes right through that one. Looks like there may be some decimals here. It could possibly be 1, but I think it goes above that. Let me see if I can zoom in. Zoom number 2 to zoom in. We're going to zoom in right there. Yeah. So it looks like -1 and then +1 work for sure. So I can pull out 2 zeros and then I can find the other ones. There was one more over here. So that looks like maybe a half. Okay. So positive and -1, a half, and I'm guessing the other one would be 4. Trace. Let me go. So I'm just holding my right arrow key and tracing. So it's tracing the graph, and I'm trying to get close to 4. The more you trace it, it starts moving the graph. Tracing it, trying to get it to move over so I can see more of the graph. There we go. So that looks like if that's 1, 2, 3, possibly 4. So what it looks like is +1, -1, a half, and 4 from our calculator. Looks like the ones that work. However, we're going to verify it by doing synthetic division. So I'm going to try -1 first. I'm going to list my terms. I have 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Not missing any terms. I'm going to write down a 2, -9, +2, +9, and then -4. Draw a line, bring your first term straight down. Negative 1 times 2, negative 2, combine, negative 11. Negative 1 times negative 11 is a positive 11. Combine, and we get 13. Negative 1 times 13 is negative 13. Combine, and we get a negative 4. Negative 1 times negative 4 is a positive 4. Combine, we get 0. So x equals negative 1 is a 0. And then I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Since I found a 0, I can continue right where I left off. And I'm going to try the next number in the list. I'm going to try 1. So 1 is going to be my box number, and I'll just continue going from right here. And you can do that if you find a 0. If this is not a 0, you have to start over. So I'm going to bring my first term straight down. 1 times 2 is 2, combine, and that gives me a negative 9. 1 times negative 9 is a negative 9, combine, and that gives me a positive 4. 1 times positive 4 is 4, combine, and we get a 0. So x equals 1 is also a 0. So we've checked off 2 of them. Now, instead of using the fraction, because that one's a little bit more of a challenge sometimes, not always, let's go ahead and use it. We'll do 1/2. So this is if you have a fraction. Process is pretty much the same, but you have to multiply and divide. So bring down the 2. So 1 times 2 is 2, and then you divide by 2. So you got to multiply by the top number, divide by the bottom number. Or you can divide first and then multiply. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. And then we get a negative 8. All right, so divide by 2, that is a negative 4, times 1 is still a negative 4, combine, and we get 0. So x equals 1/2 also works. And then the last number that we believe works was a positive 4. So I can keep going, put a 4 here, bring down this first term. 4 times 2 is 8, and then subtract, we get 0, and that's it. So x equals 4 also works. So we were able to look from our calculator, find the ones that actually work, and then we can just verify it with synthetic division, noticing that we get a 0 on the last column every time.